What's going on, guys? It's Greg here today, and first and foremost, just wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody who celebrates. New Year's is also coming up, so Happy New Year to everybody. Just wanted to get that out of the way for all of you out there, but today I have a video for you all that I think is going to help out everybody in this game, and especially maybe if you're new to the game, you just got the game for Christmas, and you want to know what are some of the best class setups, as well as what are some of the best guns in the game. I'm going to be going over that in this video today. We're going to be ranking every single weapon in the game except the riot shield, the knife, and the launchers, because I honestly think they are all really good in their own way, and it depends on the situation. So for example, for the knife, it's really good for outplaying people and baiting people. You know, the riot shield is good on a lot of the smaller maps, and ever since they made it a 3-hit melee, they actually increased the bash speed, and enemies get stunned really hard whenever they get hit by it, so it's actually even better than whenever it was a 2-hit. I think it even kills quicker now. And the launchers, you know, they all have a different use. The Pila is good for taking out streaks. The Strela P is good for taking out vehicles in ground war. The RPG is great for taking out infantry, and the Joker is amazing in ground war for clearing rooftops. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive into each and every single weapon. We're going to be going over each and every weapon, and I'm going to give you guys a recommended class setup for every single weapon in the game. So be sure to drop a like on this video if it helped you out, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and be sure to share this video with your friends so that way they can get the best class setups, as well as see what guns, you know, where they stand. So let's get right into it. So, as with all of my sort of PowerPoint presentation style videos, you know, welcome to my classroom. This is GFHutchinson's classroom. Today we'll be going over Weapon Rankings 101. So what we're going to be going over here is the assault rifles, battle rifles, submachine guns, light machine guns, shotguns, marksman rifles, sniper rifles, sidearms, and the final tier list launchers and melee. Excluded, forgot to take that out. Oopsie poopsie. So as for our weapon rankings, this is how I'm going to be breaking them down. We have S+, S, A, B, C, and D. S+ is going to be the absolute meta. S, it can hang with S+, but it's not the absolute best choices. A can hang with the meta as well, but there's noticeable downsides using the weapons. B, you're going to begin to struggle against the meta whenever you use these weapons. C, you will struggle against the meta when using these weapons. And D, these guns are absolute trash. So I just wanted to say real quick, this is from a competitive perspective. Whenever you're playing against the absolute best of competition in your lobbies, these are where the guns stand. Obviously, if you're playing against people who are worse than you, then you can pretty much use anything. But whenever you're playing against the absolute sweatiest people, these are going to be the best guns in the game. So let's get right into it. The M4 is our first assault rifle, and I'm going to give it S tier, and the reason being is you just can't go wrong with this assault rifle. It's solid, got really good range, easy to control. The handling is also not that bad. It's basically your jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none style weapon, and it's overall just very versatile and solid. And overall, I think it's a very good choice, and you can just never go wrong with the M4. As for our build, I have the RF Crown 50, the high tower 20-inch barrel, the demo clean shot 40 underbarrel, high velocity, and the demo precision elite factory stock. You can obviously tune this the way you want it to be, and yeah, it's overall just a very solid build. It excels at those longer ranges, and you can use it to lock down lanes like a traditional assault rifle. Quite arguably, the best gun in the game is the Taq-56 assault rifle, and this simply goes to the fact that it's extremely versatile and can be used in any situation possible. So it is S+ ranking, absolute best gun in the game. Pros, it's easy to control, good range, fast handling, and high damage. The only con with this thing is its fire rate is moderately slow, but other than that, I mean, it's still a powerhouse. As for our class setup, I have the FTAC Castle Compensator, the 17.5-inch Tundra Pro barrel, FSS Sharkfin 90 underbarrel, high velocity ammo type, and the TV X-Line Pro stock. Overall, this is a pretty balanced build, and it handles pretty quickly, as well as has great range and recoil control. The Kastov 762 is a powerhouse, but unfortunately, I have to give it A tier simply because there are some cons to this weapon. So it's got high damage and excellent range. However, the fire rate, its high recoil, and slow handling properties are going to make it A tier because there are simply better choices. Now, if you want to use this gun in ground war and use it for longer ranges, this is one of the best guns in the game, but we're looking at this from a perspective of both 6v6 and ground war, so overall, I'll give it A tier. It can hang with the meta, but it is not meta at all. Our first setup is going to be the Lockshot KT85 muzzle, the K30 406mm barrel, Commando foregrip, ProLite TL3 stock, and Slimline Pro reflex. The Lachmann 556 is a pretty overall solid weapon. I give it B tier simply because its time to kill is really poor up close and at medium range. However, at extended ranges, this gun excels because it has very good time to kill down longer ranges. So that's where this gun is going to excel, and therefore it is a very great gun to use in ground war. However, in 6v6, you might find yourself getting outgunned by many of the other assault rifles. It's got great range, great recoil control, and the fire rate, it's nothing really spectacular, especially when compared to something like the M13B. The overall time to kill is below average, and the handling is, it's not really that good. Overall, though, gun isn't bad. It's decent, and I would say that you could get away with it, especially in ground war and those extended ranges in 6v6. The STB-556 used to be the best gun in the game because it had a 3-shot kill range up close with one of the fastest time to kills in the game. However, they toned this thing back a little bit so it no longer has that 3-shot kill range without at least hitting some headshots. Overall, it's still an A-tier gun, and the only reason I give it A over S is because of its strafing speed and ADS time. Other than that, though, great recoil control, decent range, and it has a super fast sprint to fire speed. But again, low strafing speed, moderate aim down sight speed, and the lackluster damage is going to be the main cons of this weapon. However, with a setup like this one I built here, where it's built a little bit for handling, but also recoil control, overall, this gun excels, and I would say that you can definitely use this gun on a variety of situations and a variety of maps. Just know that maps that don't have a lot of flank routes and you're going to be taking people on from the front, you might struggle a little bit because of that low strafing speed. Other than that, though, solid choice. You can't go wrong with it. The M16. So I give this gun C tier, and that pains me because I love burst rifles, but the M16 is just mid. And the reason for it, well, let's talk about the pros. Why? Anyways, good single fire, decent range, it's inaccurate, and it's got okay handling, but as for a burst rifle, the burst spread is pretty high, and they even buffed this gun, but even then, I really just don't think it's that good of a gun. If you want to have some fun, you want to use it, by all means you can, it's usable, but against, like, the meta guns, you're going to struggle. You are going to struggle. But overall, it's still a pretty fun weapon, and I would highly recommend using it if you want to challenge yourself. The 74U. I could hear everybody typing away right now, telling me that I'm a moron for putting this thing in A, but listen, guys, the 74U is really, really powerful up close, and that's it. It's got great close range damage, good handling, it's very aggressive. However, it has one of the worst time to kills at medium-long range, and especially at long ranges. It's horrible, alright? Sure, it's accurate. Sure, you can use it across the map, and you will be able to beam people, but why would you want to use this thing at long range when it's outclassed by literally every other assault rifle in the game? So, I'm sorry, it's even heavily outclassed by submachine guns up close. Most of them, I would say. Overall, the 74U is still a solid choice even after its nerfs, and I still think it is one of the best guns in the game whenever it comes to close range. However, like I said, that long range time to kill is god-awful, and yeah, I would just recommend sticking to close quarters, using this as your true run-and-gun assault rifle and playing close to medium range, but don't stretch out those ranges too far, or you will start getting gunned. So, the Kastov 545 was easily a gun that was once C tier or D tier, and now, ever since they gave it a 3-shot kill range, it is absolutely S tier, and I almost want to give it S+, however, there's a reason I didn't. And that's simply because you have to hit all 3 of your shots to the upper torso or head, and if you don't, then you're going to have a 4-shot kill range, which I mean, the time to kill is okay, but yeah, it kind of requires some skill to use, and therefore I wouldn't say it's the absolute meta, because it can be inconsistent. But this gun is insane now. Great close range damage, good handling, very aggressive gun, and the range time to kill is just absolutely spectacular, some of the best in the game. The only con of this gun, like I said, you got to hit all 3 upper torso shots to unlock the potential of the weapon, but if you can, you will be rewarded. So overall, the Kastov 545 S tier, absolutely amazing weapon since it got buffed. The Chimera, we saw this added with Season 1 Reloaded, and I think it is a very solid choice. Overall, I give it A tier, and the reason for this is because it's got some great close range damage, really good handling, it's aggressive, and overall, the close quarters combat time to kill on this weapon is absolutely amazing. So why is it only A tier? Well, the recoil is going to be very hard to control for most players, and if you're trying to balance this gun out to be a true aggressive run-and-gun weapon, you will be making it a little bit less accurate, which makes it even harder to have good recoil control with. And if you want to go the recoil control route, the gun just kind of, the whole purpose of the gun gets defeated. So I would say that overall, though, the Chimera is a very solid choice, and you can't go wrong with it. As for our final weapon in the assault rifle category, we have the M13B, and overall, we'll give it B tier for M13B. Am I right? No, it's a good gun, but it is heavily outclassed up close because of its poor time to kill. Other than that, it's got great range, good handling, and some of the best range time to kill in the entire game. However, up close, you are going to struggle with this weapon, and if you do want to use it up close, you got to hit multiple headshots. So overall, this gun excels at the longer ranges, and it is one of the best ranged guns in the game, but up close, you are going to struggle. So I'd highly recommend rocking a close quarters weapon, maybe a really good sidearm, if you do plan on using this weapon, because you need something to fall back on up close, or else you're just going to get shredded by, well, guns that are better up close. The Lachmann 762. Why does this gun exist? D tier. Absolute garbage of a weapon. And it doesn't matter how you kit it. You will never get this thing to be accurate, and it will never feel good to actually use as a semi-auto battle rifle. I almost feel like I have to be going for headshots with this gun, or it is just so garbage because it is just so inconsistent, and it really needs a recoil buff, okay? It's so bad. I hate this gun. Like, everybody I know hates this gun. If you like this gun, cool. But I'm telling you right now, we're gonna agree to disagree, because this gun is garbage. Anyways, it's got a one-shot headshot at decent range. I mean, if you just go for headshots, cool, it's a good weapon for that, but otherwise, it's trash. The SO14 is also a gun that's not amazing. It's, I would say, higher C+ tier, but it's got high damage and decent range, but it is just heavily outclassed by the FTAC Recon and EBR-14, which are more aggressive. I mean, well, you could say this one's the more aggressive version, but they just have better damage profiles, and overall, they could be pretty aggressive as well. So, like, why does this gun exist? It just kind of feels like they wanted to add another weapon for, the weapon family tree system, and I get it, but I really feel this gun should have a bit of a faster fire rate, and overall, maybe buff the full auto mode on it. I think the recoil is just completely unmanageable in full auto, and is garbage to use in full auto, but overall, I mean, it's a decent gun. You can definitely use it, and it's pretty fun to use overall, but again, I just don't really see the point of it, considering it's outclassed by pretty much every other semi-auto gun. The Taq-V is by far my favorite gun in the game, and it's for good reason. This gun is definitely S+ tier, and the reason for it is it has an amazing damage profile. If you get one headshot, it becomes a 2-shot in full auto. Now, it is a 2-shot in semi-auto, and it also has really low horizontal recoil. But there are downsides to this gun. Number one being its magazine size of 20 rounds. You're going to have to run an extended mag. On top of that, the handling is pretty slow overall, so you're going to have to put on some attachments to try to increase that, because this gun excels at close quarters combat due to its high initial recoil. You don't want to be using the Taq-V down long range, even though it might seem like a long range gun, and it's simply because that high initial recoil is going to completely throw off how you use this weapon. If you're trying to use it down long range, you're going to have to overcompensate for that initial kick, and you're most likely going to be missing shots, which as a result is going to get you killed. So stick to close to medium range with this gun, and it will absolutely dominate your enemies, especially if you get first shots in. Next up, we have the FTAC Recon, which is the final battle rifle, and overall it's a solid B tier. It's got an amazing damage profile, and it's a one-shot kill to the head, and it's pretty aggressive. But it's got a really small mag, and like most semi-autos in this game, the recoil is pretty floaty, which means it's not going to be the greatest with its horizontal spread and overall accuracy. And the time to kill is going to be noticeably longer down longer ranges because of that floaty recoil. So overall, it's a really good semi-auto for close range and medium range, but the longer you stretch it out, the worse it's going to get because of that floaty recoil. And overall, it's just outclassed by the Taq-M and EBR-14. However, it's still a really good option if you do want a spammy battle rifle up close in semi-auto mode. Moving into our submachine guns, we have the Val-46 or the MP7, and I love this gun personally, but that doesn't make it amazing by any means. It's B tier, and it's a solid B tier. It's got good control, a high ammo capacity, and it's versatile, which is one of the things I absolutely love for characteristics about weapons, is I love their versatility. However, low damage and slow handling is going to make this gun pretty difficult to use in a variety of situations, and you'll just find yourself getting out DPS'd, as well as you're going to have to build this gun to be a little bit faster if you want it to compete. However, with this build that I recommend, it is overall a very solid weapon, and I would highly recommend trying this out, and let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. The MX9 is our next SMG, and honestly, I would love to give this gun S tier. However, its bullet velocity is just garbage, which is the problem with this gun. It has really good control, it's highly versatile, and it hides skulls, but you're not going to be able to use it at range because the bullet velocity is just so poor. If we could have access to high velocity rounds on this gun, it would be probably borderline overpowered, but the time to kill still would be holding it back somewhat. However, it's overall just a solid gun, and I think it's a solid B tier. The Lachmann Sub is basically the M4 of the SMGs. Overall, solid A tier. It's got good control, it's versatile, but its handling is really poor, especially its reload speed. Even with the fast hands perk, it is just so painfully slow, and trying to put a magazine on this gun will make it very slow. So you just have to use the default mag if you don't want to be slowed down too much. And it's, like I said, pretty much the jack of all trades SMG. It's basically the M4 of the SMGs. And I personally like to run a reflex on this gun because I find the iron sights in this game to be very bulky. If they were zoomed out a little bit more, it wouldn't be so bad. But holy crap, do they feel bulky. And I would highly recommend trying out a reflex on this gun, because if you also find the visibility a little bit difficult, a reflex will really help that out, and you'll be able to use this gun for a much more variety of situations. Quite possibly one of the best guns in the game is the Vaznev 9K SMG, and I give it S+ tier. It's got insane control, it is just so versatile, and the damage profile is amazing, especially up close. The only bad thing about this gun is it's got an awful reload speed, which even with the fast hands perk, it's really slow still. The fire rate is pretty poor. However, this gun is king for taking on one-on-one gunfights because of its sheer accuracy and 3-shot capabilities, and you can never go wrong with this SMG, and you can even use it at very long ranges. Just know the bullet velocity will start taking over and you will have to lead your shots, but the time to kill is not that bad even down long range. Overall, one of my favorite guns in the game, and I think that you guys too should use this gun if you haven't already. The FSS Hurricane is an amazing weapon for flanking. Overall, solid A tier. The gun's damage profile isn't that good, and the recoil's pretty floaty, which means it's going to be bouncing all over the place. However, if you do kit this gun out for aggression, and you make it, a little easier to control with horizontal recoil control attachments, you'll find it very useful for going on flanks, as well as you'll be able to take advantage of the high capacity mag, allowing you to take out a lot of targets on your flanks. So overall, the FSS Hurricane, amazing gun, and I would definitely recommend you guys give this a try if you like the flanking playstyle. The Minibak SMG is definitely S+ tier because it is probably one of the best SMGs in the game, even after the nerfs. Pros, it is the absolute best gun for shipment, and it is the king of shipment. Easy to control, aggressive, and a high capacity mag, high damage up close, and it even hides the enemy's skulls, which means whenever you kill a player, the enemies will not see where their teammates have died by that little skull that pops up. Cons though, and this is the only con to this gun, is the bullet velocity is absolutely atrocious, but if you use it as a truly aggressive sub, and you can even stretch out some of the ranges because it has such low recoil, just lead your shots down range and you'll be perfectly fine. The BAS-P, oh my god, I wish this gun was good, guys. I really do, because I overall like the way it looks, I like the way it feels, I just like the gun, but holy crap is it terrible. So it's got good handling, but oh my god, the recoil. Guys, don't get me started. It is so bad. And then the damage profile is even worse. And it's literally outclassed by every SMG in the game. It is just such a poor choice, and you will be getting costed if you use this gun. The P90, on the other hand, I mean the PDSW 528, sorry, we gotta use these fake names, A+. Love this gun. It is amazing. It's got a high capacity mag, best bullet velocity in its class. I think it's actually got bullet velocity of like a DMR, so it's insane for that. And the time to kill is very solid. Now, it does require a lot of shots to kill. It's got floaty recoil and slow handling, but if you do kit this thing out for recoil control, honestly, you can't go wrong with this gun. Alright, it's just a nice little, you know, you ADS a lot, you walk around ADS and you're flanking people. It's just, you just can't go wrong with it, okay? It's a good weapon. But that leads us to our final SMG, which is the Fennec 45, and I give it B tier because this gun is super niche. It's a close quarters demon, and that's it. It will hide the enemy skulls when you kill them, and it is great from the hip. However, the reason it is not as versatile as some of the other low bullet velocity SMGs is it's got the highest horizontal spread in the entire game, and you cannot change that no matter what, so it checks the gun out from being completely overpowered or busted, and it's, like I said, it's got poor bullet velocity as well as a slow reload, so overall, maybe use fast hands on this. I don't recommend extended mags because it will slow the gun down a little too much, but it is a close quarters shredder. Moving along with the shotguns, we have the first one here at the Lockwood 300, and overall this is an S tier weapon. Now I would give this S+, but it only holds 2 rounds per clip, and its hipfire is quite inconsistent whenever you are using a ranged build, so I would highly recommend that you ADS, use it for close range, and you can even stretch it out to medium ranges for a 2-shot kill, and using the fast hands perk will definitely be a crutch because you're going to want to keep this thing reloaded at all times. However, overall, a very good shotgun, absolutely dominant, and I think you guys will really enjoy using the Lockwood 300. The Expedite 12, on the other hand, is a solid B tier. Now, it can one-shot, but that one-shot range is very short. However, it is a spammable weapon, which means it can be pretty decent. The only downside to this gun is that short range, and it has to be reloaded one at a time, which is why I give it B tier. If it didn't have to be reloaded one at a time and it had a mag on it, I could see it being A tier, but yeah, the fact that you have to keep reloading this thing at all times, it can get really annoying and old fast, especially because it is a spammy shotgun. The Bryson 800 is my favorite shotgun, and it is my go-to, simply because, well, it's the best shotgun in the game at S+ tier. It's got insane range, high capacity, and it's insane, okay? It's basically like a little sniper, if you will. The only downside to it is it's got a slow fire rate, and, I mean, the handling and recoil normally isn't something I worry about in a shotgun, but the handling of this gun is pretty slow whenever you maximize its range, so I would highly recommend kind of just walking around ADS with this gun. Other than that, though, very solid shotgun, and I wouldn't recommend hip firing with it. The Bryson 890 on the other point is absolute dog meat. C tier, solid C tier, and this is because it's got high capacity, it's got a magazine, and overall, it's got a really far-ranged 2-shot kill. However, the 1-shot kill capabilities of this gun is so inconsistent, and it is heavily outclassed by the Bryson 800 and the Lockwood 300 for range. So, yeah, I really just don't have a reason to use the Bryson 890, but it's fun. I mean, it's got a mag, I guess. That's the good thing about it, right? Like, you want a magazine on your shotgun? I mean, again, I just don't really think it's that good of a shotgun, and I would just say go with the Bryson 800. It's so much better. Now, the Sakin MG38 is a beast. It's definitely A tier, and its pros, it's got high capacity, it's easy to control, got some pretty slow handling, and it is outclassed by the Raal. However, with this gun, as you hold down the trigger, the recoil will begin to smooth out, which means you can just bullet hose people with this gun, which overall is going to make it a very solid choice. The HCR 56 it's a good gun. I give it solid A tier. It's got high damage, really good range. However, it's pretty slow, which I'm going to recommend you put on some attachments to speed it up, especially a smaller magazine. You could even go with a 30-round mag if you really want to. But the recoil is going to be pretty difficult to manage down ranges. It could be a little floaty. It changes direction quite a bit. So overall, though, if you use this thing for close quarters and you kit it out, maybe to try to beam a little bit at long range, it's a very solid LMG, and you can't go wrong with it. Next up, we have the 5.56 Icarus, and it's B tier, solid B tier. I mean, it's a mid-range shredder. It's pretty good at those ranges. It's solid out to mid-range, but the range is not very good past that, and the recoil can be difficult to manage down range because the magnitude is very high. So overall, I would say kit it out for more close quarters, and you'll excel with this weapon. Ooh, yeah, here we have Big Chungus himself, the 5.5, that's a typo, the Raal MG, S tier. It's insane damage and range, fairly accurate, but its cons, yeah, this is one of the slowest guns in the entire game, so you're definitely going to have to speed it up if you want to use it for any sort of aggression. And sure, I know people are going to say, but it's an LMG, you're supposed to be playing slow. Yeah, sure, but it's Call of Duty, it's a fast-paced shooter, and you're probably just going to get bunny hopped around the corner every single time you use this gun, so yeah, you definitely want to speed it up. However, with this gun, when you hold down the trigger, the recoil smooths out, and pretty much it has zero recoil once it smooths out, so overall, very good weapon. I love the Raal. You should definitely try it out. The RPK is the Rolls-Royce of LMGs. This gun is so damn good, and I give it S+ tier. As for its pros, it's got insane damage and range, it's very easy to control, and it's basically everything the Kastov 7.62 should be. However, it is an LMG, which means it's going to have LMG handling and mobility, so you're going to have to build it with a niche build so that way you can use it aggressively, which is the way I like to use it because I like to use it like it's an assault rifle. And overall, it's basically just a giant mag Kastov 7.62 and a better version of that. Oh, the Rapp H. I actually wanted to give this gun D tier, but I could see some of its uses because the fire rate is extremely high, which means it is a shredder up close, and it's got decent damage output up close. So, that's your saving grace, Rapp. Other than that, you're a dog shit weapon, and I really do not like you. Anyway, so yeah, down range, it is horrible because of its recoil, and it's got really poor handling, and it's pretty much outclassed by every other LMG. However, you can still use it, like I said, for close range, so yeah, I guess that's the saving grace of this gun. It is really good for bullet hosing up close, but other than that, you're going to struggle. The EBR-14 is our first marksman rifle, and oh boy, this is a really good gun because it can one-shot headshot. It's got insane range, it's extremely accurate. Now, the fire rate is moderately slow, and it has low mag capacity, and it is definitely outclassed at range by the Taq-M. However, this gun is definitely the better choice for 6 versus 6 compared to the Taq-M, but even in ground war, it is an absolute beast, and I would definitely recommend using the EBR-14 if you like a good semi-auto weapon. Next up is the SPR-208, and it is a busted marksman rifle coming in at S+ tier. Great range, fast handling, very consistent with its damage profile, and it is a one-shot headshot out to extreme ranges. And yeah, there's no cons with this weapon. It's basically a shotgun up close too because of its handling properties. Overall, I like to use my marksman rifles, these bolt-action ones with the iron sights, because there's really no point to put a scope on. They're for closer range anyways, and yeah, they're pretty overpowered. Let's just be honest here. The Lockwood Mark II is the gun you saw in the intro footage, and overall, I think it's a very fun weapon, but it's definitely outclassed by the SPR and the SAB. It's A tier, solid A tier. It's got insanely fast handling, a one-shot headshot out to some pretty far ranges, but you gotta load each round by itself, and it's got an inconsistent one-shot kill to the chest, and it's pretty short range. So overall, I would still say it's solid, but you're definitely going to have to combine this with the Fast Hands perk because of how much you're going to be reloading, and I would recommend reloading as often as possible if you know it's safe, because you don't want to be without ammo in this gun. The LMS, why does this gun exist? I just want to know. D tier. Yeah, it's a joke. One-shot headshot, cool. So do most other marksman rifles. It's got decent handling, okay. I don't really think handling is that important for a marksman rifle where you'd be playing positioning. And cons, well, why would you use this gun when the EBR-14, the Taq-M exists? Let me know in the comment section below, because, be honest with you, I think that this gun is a weapon you use to get your challenges done and never touch it again, because it is just severely outclassed by the EBR and the Taq-M. And also, don't tell me that it can be used for range, because the recoil is just atrocious for a gun like this, okay? And also, it loses its one-shot headshot down range, and overall, it is just a dog-shit weapon. So, yeah, I wouldn't recommend using it. But the SAB-50, on the other hand now, ooh, baby, S tier, because it has a one-shot headshot out to really nice ranges. It has insane handling, which, I'm not gonna lie, like we said, these guns are kind of like shotguns in a way, and the only bad thing is the one-shot kill is pretty inconsistent out at range, and it is outclassed by the SPR-208. I just think the SPR overall is better, even though this one handles a lot faster. Just the consistency of the SPR is just absolutely absurd. But this gun, again, definitely the better close quarters option than the SPR, but yeah, I still think the SPR is the best shotgun in the game, so can't go wrong with it. And yes, I said shotgun on purpose. The Taq-M is beautiful. This gun is absolutely broken in ground war and invasion, and the reason for it is it's got good handling, it's very accurate, one-shot headshot at insane range, insane two-shot kill range. The only thing that holds it back is its slow fire rate and low capacity mag, but if you hit a headshot, it doesn't matter because the enemy just drops dead in front of you, and they even drop dead if they are very far away from you. So overall, just a very overpowered gun. S tier. S+ tier, I'm sorry, it is absolutely busted. In 6v6, maybe not the best map or gun, maybe on the map Turok it's good, but other than that, I wouldn't really use it in 6v6, but in ground war and invasion, oh my god, best sniper in the game. I mean marksman rifle. It's pretty much a sniper, who are we kidding? The MCPR 300 is definitely the best sniper in the game, so we're going to give it S+ tier. That's because it has really good handling. It's got a big mag at 10 rounds, and it has insane range and bullet velocity. Also, the visibility in the scope is pretty good. It's not too zoomed in, and you can see quite a bit. The cons, yeah, honestly, there's no complaints I have with this gun. I honestly think that it is the best sniper in the game, and there's really just nothing wrong with it. You just can't go wrong with the sniper. The Victus XMR follows a pretty similar path. S+ rank again, because it's practically hit scan at long range with some velocity attachments. Absolutely insane range, good handling. The only bad thing I don't like about this gun is the default scope zoom is extremely high, which can lead to poor visibility. So I use a 6.6 times optic from the SPX80. I think it's the default scope from the SPX80, and in my opinion, it makes this gun much better because it's actually a variable zoom scope. But other than that, this gun is definitely S+ tier and is an amazing sniper rifle. Absolutely love it. The Signal 50 is S tier. It's amazing. Semi-auto, great range. The bullet velocity is kind of slow compared to other snipers, so you will have to boost that to the maximum. However, it's very stable, and it's, like I said, semi-auto, so you could just hold down your scope, lock down an area, and yeah, this gun is absolutely busted. But it's got really slow handling, which, if you want to use this thing aggressively, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. But other than that, overall, very solid choice. LAB-330 is also a very solid choice, but unfortunately I think it is outclassed by the other snipers. Still a solid A tier, it's got great range, great bullet velocity, and great handling, but the magazine size is low, and putting on a mag slows down the weapon quite a bit, and overall I just think the MCPR 300 and the Victus XMR are better choices. The SPX 80 I'm a little bit split on because I think it is a solid B tier for the reasons of great bullet velocity and great handling. However, again, same thing with the LAB, the magazine size, and on top of that, putting on a mag is going to slow down the weapon's handling, and it is a great choice for 6 versus 6. It's more of a hybrid between a marksman rifle and a sniper rifle, but in ground war, it is severely outclassed. Let's move on to our final weapon category, which is the sidearms, starting off with the P890. S+, one of the best pistols in the game. It hides skulls when you kill enemies. It's a consistent 2-shot at pretty good range. It's amazing with akimbo, and overall, it's a really good weapon. Now, the fire rate isn't anything special, and the bullet velocity is very poor, but using this thing akimbo, like I said, probably one of the best secondaries in the game, so if you haven't already tried that out, definitely give it a try. I can't lie, I love the 50GS. It's just a lot of fun to use, and it's very rewarding, but it's just a solid S tier. It's not S+. Even though it can one-shot to the chest and head, and it has high damage overall and an insane damage profile, I think its fire rate just really hinders it, because if you do miss a shot, you're probably going to die. Other than that, though, the 50GS, absolutely a very rewarding gun, and overall, I think it is just insane, honestly. It's just so much fun to use. Give it a try. The X12, on the other hand, is S+. This is another insane sidearm because it's pretty much a baby DMR. It's got a 3-shot kill out to insane range, and it has a pretty darn good fire rate, especially with a lightweight trigger. In your competitors, you have the P890 Akimbo and the Snakeshot Basilisk as the alternative options, but overall, this is probably your best semi-auto pistol in the game. The Basilisk revolver is an insane sidearm, and overall I'd give it S+. It has crazy range, high damage, and even with the Snakeshot ammo, the range is not that bad, and it's a consistent 2-shot out to pretty decent ranges. So if you're behind somebody and you're in that 2-shot range, you can definitely take them out before they can even react. Snakeshot ammo turns it into a little pocket shotgun. And it's still S+ without Snakeshot because it has a 1-shot capability to the chest and the head. So I would say overall the Basilisk is the best secondary in the game as of right now. The only downside is it's got a slow draw speed, so you're going to have to use the fast draw attachment or fast hands with this, and its fire rate is abysmal. But other than that, I mean, it's just so consistent and deadly that you just can never go wrong with it. And for the final weapon of Season 1, we're going to end with an absolute shitter of a weapon. The X13 Auto is garbage. It's full auto, and let's see. It's got poor damage, poor range, a horrible time to kill. So why do you want to use this gun? Get it poly and never use it again. How about that? So there it is. That is our final tier list of every single weapon in the game, in my opinion. Overall, I think the weapon balance here in Modern Warfare 2 is actually really good, because I feel anything B tier and above is usable, and the guns in C and D tier definitely need some love, and I hope the developers do end up giving those guns some more love, so that way that they can also be B and above, because again, I think that pretty much almost all of the guns in this game are usable, and overall, I think there's a lot of solid choices. If you're looking for the absolute best guns in the game, yet again, S+ and S tier are going to be the guns that are going to be absolutely dominant, and in A tier, they're dominant guns, but they can be outshined by S and S+ tier, depending on the type of enemies you are going up against. So overall, that's my tier list. Let me know if you agree or disagree, and I'm not going to argue with you in the comment section below if one of your favorite guns happens to be in a category that you don't believe it belongs in, because, again, this is my opinion, and I'm going to agree with you to disagree with you. Anyways, that is all I have for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Leave me a rating, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day, and peace out.